Well, hello, and welcome to Let's Play Dragon Age Origins Get Good Edition. I'm your host, Yeoman Hero, and today we're getting right back into it. I intend to get through the Brazilian Forest section of the game as quickly as possible, due to the fact that I'm getting near the end. And if I can complete this game, I'll have it finished, a totally finished run through a game for my YouTube channel, which has been a goal for a while now.
Indeed. Yes.
Yes.
Come, my friends. I know I run around with you guys basically alone, period. Like, I don't really ever take anybody else with. I just seem to prefer those. What are we being stopped for? Great. Great.
We've been waiting for you, Warden.
Oh, Lord Harrimon's dudes. Why on earth am I being attacked by the Harrimon's dudes? Whatever. I don't care. And I'll take care of that.
Yes.
That certainly worked out for them. Not.
Going.
Did I empty out my inventory of all the uselessness? Seems I did not. Great. Kadash Stompers. Increases hostility. I believe I'll probably end up... Gloves of the Legion, Armor of the Legion, Boots of the Legion, Blood Gorged, Amulet. Blah, 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 blah. Onwards. Oh, there's more? Oh, hi! Hi! I didn't realize you were over there. You kinda needed to join the rest of your group if you actually wanted a possibility of winning, but as shown just now, you are apparently not smart enough to do so. Gotta love AI, game AI and being stupid. And that's done. I think what's interesting is I usually I left Orzammar alone until like the very last thing to do. So I usually ended up with I usually ended up in that.
Hold, outsider. You may be of my kind, but you are not Dalish. Why are you here?
I have business with your leader, actually.
And what business is that?
I am a Grey Warden.
That is not a lie that many would attempt. I will bring you to the Keeper then, and he can decide if your business is worthwhile.
Well, whatever. Decide away.
I see we have guests. And a hound amongst them. As if we haven't had enough problems with such creatures. Who are these strangers, Mithra? I have precious little patience and less time to spend on outsiders today.
This one claims to be a Grey Warden and wishes to speak with the clan. I thought it best to leave the decision to you.
That was wise of you. Macirinus, Mithra. You may return to your post.
Manuvinen, Keeper.
Now, allow me to introduce myself. I am Zathrian, the keeper of this clan. Its guide and preserver of our ancient lore. And you are?
My name is Hector. A pleasure to meet you.
If you came to bring news of the Blight in the south, it is not needed. I had already sensed its corruption. I would have taken the clan north by now, had we the ability to move. Sadly, as you can see, we do not.
Yes, it seems like you've had your own troubles. What are the odds?
I imagine you are here regarding the treaty we signed centuries ago. Unfortunately, we may not be able to live up to the promise we made. This will require some explanation. Please, follow me.
Well, isn't this a lovely sight?
The clan came to the Brazilian forest 1 month ago, as is our custom when we enter this part of Ferelden. We are always wary of the dangers in the forest, but we did not expect the werewolves would be lying in wait for us. They ambushed us. And though we drove the beasts back, much damage was done. Many of our warriors lie dying as we speak. Even with all our magic and healing skill, we will eventually be forced to slay our brethren to prevent them from becoming beasts. The Blight's evil must be stopped. But we are in no position to uphold our obligations. I am truly sorry.
Is there no way to help your men?
The affliction is a curse that runs rampant in their blood, bringing great agony and then ultimately either death or a transformation into something monstrous. The only thing that could help them must come from the source of the curse itself. And that would be no trivial task to retrieve.
I am good at non-trivial tasks.
Within the Brazilian forest dwells a great wolf. We call him Witherfang. It was within him that the curse originated, and through his blood that it has been spread. If he is killed and his heart brought to me, perhaps I could destroy the curse. But this task has proven too dangerous for us. I sent some hunters into the forest a week ago, but they have not returned. I cannot risk any more of my clan.
You said you could perhaps destroy the curse?
There is no guarantee that this will work, as I suspect. But it's the only hope we have left.
Have you considered seeking outside help?
From whom? The Children of the Stone? The Shemlin? Do you truly think they have time to spare for us?
Point taken. I'll find this Witherfang for you.
I must warn you that more than werewolves lurk in the Brazilian forest. It has a history full of carnage and murder, you see. Where there is so much death, the veil separating the spirit realm from our own becomes thin, allowing spirits to possess things, living or dead. But if you can indeed help, then I wish you luck.
I should go.
I must return to caring for my people. Creator's speed on your way.
Codex updated. Yay, more reading. Witherfang is, according to the Keeper Zathrian, a wolf. He is no ordinary wolf, however. He is a wolf possessed by a powerful spirit and the source of the werewolf curse that plagues the Brazilian forest. While Witherfang is hundreds of years old and very powerful in his own right, the only way to end his curse is to cut out his heart and bring it to Zathrian. Keeper Zathrian, even with all our magic and skill, we only delay the inevitable. It is said that elves lived in Ferelden long before any others set foot there, and though most of their knowledge has been lost, it falls to the keeper of each clan to preserve what they have. Zathrian is an old, severe elf with little love for outsiders, but his clan is facing a more trying enemy than most. Oh, I got all the characters on here now. Yay! Loop-a-doo. Lananya. Ba-doo-ba-doo. Anaya. What's in this chest?
Please leave that be. If you have need of equipment, I am sure Master Verathorn can help you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll leave it alone.
Cyranus. Underanitishan, Grey Warden. My name is Lanaya. I am Zathrian's first. What you might call an apprentice, perhaps. I've been studying under the Keeper all my life. I am a bit curious of the outside world. Do you mind if I ask you a question or two?
If you like. You just asked me a question right there.
What an odd thing to say. I mean about the outside world, of course.
If you like, go ahead.
I hear the human cities are very large. Thousands upon thousands of souls all packed together in their houses. Is that true?
Yeah, some are larger than the eye can see.
How very loud that must be with everyone talking all at once. I try to imagine those of our people living in such a place, surrounded by walls of stone and indifference. It is a difficult thought.
It isn't an easy life for them, that's true.
What about you? What was life like amongst the humans?
The life I had was ruined by a human nobleman.
Oh, I'm saddened to hear that. You have my sympathies. It is said that one day we will have a land of our own. We Dalish gather the ancient wisdom in preparation for this. When that day comes, all elves, even those who have forgotten, will reclaim their former glory. I have one more question, though I'm not sure you can answer it. Do the humans ever regret what they did to us?
I think some of them do. Not all humans are the same.
And yet, even if some regret, they do nothing. A poet once wrote of them, before the fall of the Dales. Like dragons they fly, glory upon wings. Like dragons, they savage, fearsome, pretty things. But you don't need me to quote poetry to you. Forgive me. Perhaps you have some questions of your own.
Tell me more about yourself.
I'm hardly anyone special, I assure you. If I seem different from the rest of my clan, it's only because I was born amongst humans. Not too different from you, I imagine. I came to the Dalish at a very young age, but I've always retained my curiosity about the world I came from.
How did you come to the Dalish if you were so young?
My parents were servants to a human merchant whose caravans plied the southern routes. One day, bandits killed him, and my parents both. I was the only survivor, just a young girl, and the bandits took me. I was their servant for several years.
I'm sorry, it must have been horrible.
It was. The long years of reflection have allowed me to come to terms with it, to put them in perspective. I can only imagine what would have happened had the clan not saved me from them. I owe them my life for that, and more.
What does a keeper do exactly?
A keeper is, first and foremost, the leader of the clan. He decides where we go and when we shall move. He's also responsible for knowing the clan's ancient lore and passing it on to the others in the clan. Without a keeper, the clan's knowledge is lost forever, so the clan protects him like no other.
Why are the Dalish so hostile?
They have reason. Since the days of Arlathan, my people have been either subjugated or homeless.
But I'm not responsible for what's been done to the elves.
That's true. And you're not even a human, so it's doubly unfair. But fairness does not play into such feelings. No outsider has ever been good for us.
You weren't hostile.
I was not born here, so I see things differently from the others. Still, I do not blame them for what they feel. Perhaps this may change one day, but I believe the humans would have to take the first steps, if they are capable.
I want to ask you something
Certainly.
else. What can you tell me about Zathrian?
Nothing that you could not ask Zathrian himself. He is the keeper of this clan and has been for a very long time. He is also a very good man who has lost much. The Dalish are everything to him, and he would do anything to protect them.
Lost much? What has he lost?
He lost his family a very long time ago. I don't know the story, but I understand the circumstances were horrific.
I should go.
As you wish. Darth Shirel.
Yeah, it's one of those fair. Well, why on earth? Crap. Arlathan Part 1. Before the ages were named or numbered, our people were glorious and eternal and never changing. Like the great oak tree, they were constant in their traditions, strong in their roots and ever reaching for the sky. They felt no need to rush when life was endless. They worshipped their gods for months at a time. Decisions came after decades of debate, and an introduction could last for years. From time to time, our ancestors would drift into centuries-long slumber. But this was not death, for we know they wandered, the fade in dreams. In those ages, our people called all the land Elvenon, which in the old language means place of our people, and at the center of the world stood the great city of Arlathan, a place of knowledge and debate, where the best of the ancient elves would go to trade knowledge, greet old friends, and settle disputes that had gone on for millennia. But while our ancestors were caught up in the forever cycle of ages, drifting through life at what we today would consider an intolerable pace, the world outside, the lush forests and ancient trees, was changing. The humans first arrived from Parvolan to the north, called Shemlin or Quicklings by the ancients. The humans were pitiful creatures whose lives spent by in an instant. When they first met the elves, the humans were brash and warlike, quick to anger and quicker to fight, with no patience for the unhurried pace of elven diplomacy. But the humans brought worse things than war with them. Our ancestors proved susceptible to human diseases, and for the first time in history, elves died of natural causes. What's more, those elves who spent time bartering and negotiating with humans found themselves aging, tainted by the humans' brash and impatient lives. Many believed that the ancient gods had judged them unworthy of their long lives and cast them down among the quicklings. Our ancestors came to look upon the humans as parasites, which I understand is similar to the way the humans see our people in the cities. The ancient elves immediately moved to close Elvenon off from the humans, for fear that this quickening effect could crumble in civilization. The fall of Arlathan is told by Gisharal, keeper of the Ralafaran clan of the Dalish Elves.
I must say, I thought the Dalish would be much harder to find. Do you think this clan let us find them?
That is a possibility. Andro, goddess of the hunt. More codex. Hear me, sons and daughters of the people. I am sister of the moon, mother of hares, lady of the hunt, Andruel. Remember my teachings. Remember the Vir Tenadal, the ray of 3 trees that I have given you. Vir Asan, the way of the arrow. Be swift and silent. Strike true, do not waver. And let not your prey suffer. That is my way. Vir Borasan, the way of the bow. As the sapling bends, so must you. In yielding find resistance. In pliancy find strength. That is my way. Vir Adalen, the way of the wood. Receive the gifts of the hunt with mindfulness. Respect the sacrifice of my children. Know that your passing shall nourish them in turn. That is my way. Remember the ways of the hunter, and I shall be with you. From the charge of Andruel, goddess of the hunt. I'm gonna put these all in Constitution, because his HP is kind of lacking. 26 dexterity. I'll put that in dex so I can just unlock this and play. There we go. What is this? More codex! Hearth and home. Solace, the Hearthkeeper, is seen as the sister of Andruel the Huntress. While Andruel loved to run with the creatures of the wild, Solace preferred to stay by her home tree, occupying herself with gentle arts and song. It is Solace who gave us fire and taught us how to use it. It is Solace who showed us how to heal with herbs and with magic, and how to ease the passage of infants into this world. And again, it is Solace who showed us how to spin the fibers of plants into thread and rope. We are much to Solace, and that is why we sing to her when we kindle the fires, and when we put them out. That is why we sprinkle our Aravels with Solace's fragrant tree moss, and ask that she protect them and all within, as told by Gisharal, keeper of the Ralafaran clan of the Dalish Elves. Even more stuff to read. Oh my word. June. We dedicate all our crafts to June, for it is he who taught the people to bend the branches of trees to make our bows and to fashion coverings of furs and ironbark. Without June, would we have the Erevel or the harness for our hala? When the people were young, we wandered the forests without purpose. We drank from streams and ate the berries and nuts that we could find. We did not hunt, for we had no bows. We wore nothing, for we had no knowledge of spinning or needlecraft. We shivered in the cold nights and went hungry through the winters, when all the world was covered in ice and snow. Then Selace the Hearthkeeper came and gave us fire and taught us how to feed with wood. June taught us how to fashion bows and arrows and knives so that we could hunt. We learned to cook the flesh of the creatures we hunted over Selace's fire, and we learned to clothe ourselves in their furs and skins, and the people were no longer cold and hungry, as told by Gisharal, keeper of the Ralafaran clan of the Dalish Elves. More codex to read. I'm pretty sure... Okay, the landmark tent. That one I don't have to worry about. That is just you going over here and being like, mocking my territory. There's an elf nurse. Cammon. Don't enter that chest today. There's a shield. Hunter.
Allow me. I could do that for you.
If that's the case, then why are you
Allow me.
why are you standing there?
I could do that for you. Of course.
Great, another love letter. More codex. I'm not reading it because this is, like I said before, like, unimportant. Now here we go, the long walk. More codex. When our people left Tevinter, we had nothing except the knowledge that, for the first time in countless centuries, we are free. It was Shartan's dream that one day we would have our own homeland, where we could live as we chose. After the long struggle that claimed the lives of many, even Shartan himself, we were granted the Dales, and though the Dales were to the south of the land of Orlais, and a long way off from Tevinter, it mattered little. We were going home, and so we walked. We called our journey the Long Walk, for that was what it was. We walked with what little we had on our backs. Some walked without shoes, for they had none. Whole families, women with infants, the old and the young and alike, all of them made their way across the land on foot. And if one of our people could no longer walk, we carried him, or sometimes left him behind. Many perished along the way. Some died of exhaustion, others simply gave up and fell by the wayside. A great number were set upon by human bandits. Even though we had few possessions, along the way a growing number began to bemoan the decision to leave Tevinter. At least in Tevinter, they said, we had food and water and shelter. What do we have here? Nothing but the open sky and the prospect of the never-ending road ahead. Some turned back toward Tevinter, but most of us continued walking. The gods rewarded those of us who did not waver by bringing us to the Dales. Our people called the new city Halam Shiral, the end of the journey, and for a time it was home, as told by Gisharal, keeper of the Ralafaran clan of the Dalish Elves. Keeper, Durthamen, keeper of secrets. Twins Falon Din and Durthamen are the eldest children of Elgar'nan, the All-Father, and Mythal the Protector. The brothers were inseparable from the moment of their conception, known for their great love for each other. That is why we often speak of Falon Din in one breath and Durthamen in the next, for they could not bear to be apart, not even in our tales. When the world was young, the gods often walked the earth, and Falon Din and Durthamen were no exception. Both were delighted by the many wonders of our earth. They played with the animals, whispered to the trees, and bathed on the lakes and streams. Their days were filled with bliss, and they did not know sorrow. And then one day, while passing through the forest, Falon Din and Durthamen came across an old and sickly deer resting beneath a tree. "Why do you sit so still, little sister?" asked Falon Din. "Play with us," said Durthamen. "Alas," spoke the deer, "I cannot. I am old, and although I wish to go to my rest, my legs can no longer carry me." Taking pity on the deer, Falon Din gathered her up into his arms and carried her to her rest beyond the vale. Durthamen tried to follow them, but the shifting grey paths beyond the vale would not let him. Separated for the first time from Falon Din, Durthamen wandered aimlessly until he came across two ravens. "You are lost, and soon you will fade," the raven named Fear said to Durthamen. "Your brother has abandoned you. He no longer loves you," said the other, named Deceit. "I am not lost, and Falon Din has not abandoned me," replied Durthamen. He subdued the ravens and bade them carry him to Falon Din. This they did, for they had been defeated and were now bound to Durthamen's service. When Durthamen found Falon Din, he also found the deer, who was once again light on her feet. for her spirit was released from her weakened body. Both Falon Din and Dirthaman rejoiced to see this. Falon Din vowed that he would remain to carry all the dead to their places beyond, just as he did the deer, and Dirthaman stayed with him, for the twins cannot bear to be apart. From the story of Falon Din and Dirthaman, as told by Gisharel, keeper of the Ralafaran clan of the Dalish Elves. That's kind of interesting-ish. That's kind of weird, but, you know. It is both elf nurse. Dalish boots. Gonna pick up some elf fruit. Valis Flynn. Blood writing. When the children of our people came of age, they earn the privilege of wearing the Valis Flynn. Blood writing. It sets us apart from the Shemlin and from the elves who have thrown their lot in with them. It reminds us that we will never again surrender our traditions and beliefs. The ritual deserves great reverence. The one who is to gain the Valis Flynn must prepare by meditating on the gods and the ways of our people, and by purifying the body and the skin. When the time comes, the keeper of the clan applies the blood writing. This is done in complete silence. Cries of pain are signs of weakness. Well, if one cannot tolerate the pain of the blood writing, they are not ready to undertake the responsibilities of an adult. The keeper may stop the ritual if they decide that the one gaining the Valis Flynn is not ready. There is no shame in this, for all children are different, and our ancestors took centuries to come of age, as told by Gisharel, keeper of the Ralafaran clan of the Dalish Elves. Huh. So it's more of like, are you mature, not are you of age? And if you're not mature enough, this is not considered bad, it's merely considered just a thing that happens. Fenrel. This is a statue dedicated to the elf and wolf god Fenrel. There is a precious little we know about Fenrel, for they say he did not care for our people. Elgonan and Mythal created the world as we know it. Andruel taught us the ways of the hunter. Selace and June gave us fire and crafting, but Fenrel kept to himself and plotted the betrayal of all the gods. And after the destruction of Arlathan, when the gods could no longer hear our prayers, it is said that Fenrel spent centuries in a far corner of the earth, giggling madly and hugging himself in glee. The legends say that before the fall of Arlathan, the gods we know and revere fought an endless war with others of their kind. There is not a harem among us who remembers these others. Only in dreams do we hear whispered the names of Geldaron and Darenthal and Aneris, for they are the forgotten ones, the gods of terror and malice, spite and pestilence. In ancient times, only Fenrel could walk without fear among both our gods and the forgotten ones, for although he is kin to the gods of the people, the forgotten ones knew of his cunning ways and saw him as one of their own. And that is how Fenrel tricked them. Our gods saw him as brother, and they trusted him when he said that they must keep to the heavens while he arranged a truce. And the Forgotten Ones trusted him also when he said he would arrange for the defeat of our gods if only Forgotten Ones were to return to the abyss for a time. They trusted Fenrel, and they were all of them betrayed, and Fenrel sealed them away so they could never again walk among the people. From the tale of Fenrel's triumph is told by Gisharel, keeper of the Ralafaran clan of the Dalish Elves.